Memory is a wonderful thing. It leaves an impression on you for the rest of your life. And you know, one of the most vivid memories I have is playing an Engl Powerball. Now this was around 2003, 2004-ish. I remember where it was as well. It was Wembley Guitars. I used to go down there and just check out their gear and stuff. And this was one of the amps that I plugged into one day. And it really left an impression. You know, the amp was just so cool. The amp just sounded big and bold and punchy, and it just had this wonderful tone to it. And the distortion, so smooth, silky smooth. Now, I've tried lots of Engl amps, and some of them I've loved, some of them I've been like, meh. The Powerball was right up there as one of the amps I absolutely love playing. So when my friends over at Nembrini Audio said to me, hey, we're going to be releasing a plugin off the Engl Powerball II. It's called the Hardball. Would you like to check it out? I was like, yes, please do send it over, because I would love to do a track with it. So they sent it over, and you know, I had just done the video for the MP1 plugin, which they did, the 88 MP1. So I knew what the quality of their plugins was going to be like. So I was pretty excited about it. Got it, plugged it into my DAW Logic, played it. That memory was back. And you know what? With an amp plugin, that's the first time that has ever happened. Seriously. And it was incredible. I've tried a bunch of Powerball models over the years on digital effects units, on my Line 6 pods when I had those, on software. This one reminded me of that time when I was sitting in front of that amp at Wembley Guitars. That was amazing. The plugin is very cool. The GUI looks absolutely phenomenal. It's basically just the amplifier. I love that about this, because all the buttons are in the right place and you can just press them and kind of do your stuff and dial in your tones. It's got all the channels on it, all 4 channels. Yeah, and it does every sound from sparkling clean to really high gain. Now stick around, because you're going to want to watch the rest of that track which I recorded with this plugin, because it gets heavy and it gets brutal and it gets very Engl Powerball. So the plugin is phenomenal. The actual amp, very easy. You've seen it. I've done a screenshot for you. You just turn the dials, you get your tone. Now in the back end, there's all sorts of stuff going on. It's got all of the Nembrini Audio cab models in there, microphone models, and you can kind of turn up whichever mic you want, and the room ambience and stuff like that. It also has a control to tighten up the low end and stuff like that. Fantastic. The noise gate is really cool. There were some points in the track where I was kind of going da-da, 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 da-da. You'll hear that in a bit, so stick around, because you're going to want to see that. And you know what? I actually separated it out into a separate track, turned up the gate, and it basically made it really tight, which was fantastic. Just gave that real kind of just kick to it, you know, everything working together. Just beautiful. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that the Nembrini Audio amps actually come packaged with a bunch of impulse responses as well, by Chop Tones, by C-Cow, and Nembrini's own impulse responses as well. And I'll show you over on the computer where they are, because lots of people miss this part of it. Using the included impulse responses is really easy with this software. You basically just go up to Cabinets and Impulses Loader, click on that, and initially you'll be presented with this screen, which is the stock cab and mic combination, and you can change through the cabs here and the microphones as well, depending on which microphones you want to use. And then the mix console here, the room ambience. This is really powerful control, by the way, so do check that out. You have a cut down version of the amp here as well, just the single channel which you're using, and the filters so that you can tighten up the sound, and also the noise gate if you want to use that, and then the input and output. If you do want to use the included impulse responses, then just head over to where it says the impulses, or bypass and then use a third-party impulse response loader. So if you use the included impulse response loader, just click on impulses. You'll be presented with this. I've got a couple already loaded into these two channels, and they're from the factory impulse responses which are included with the software. So let's say I want to add another one into here. All I'm going to do is click on browser, and then I'm going to click on factory, and that's going to load all of the impulse responses which are included with the pack, and it's quite a list of impulse responses, and you can expand this so that you can see which ones you want to use, and then you can just go through them and load the one that you want to use. So let's say I want to use this cab here, the Bogner 412, then I'll just click on that and it loads it into here. And then you can mix the impulse responses. You can have up to 3 impulse responses and create your sound from there as well. And if you have other impulse responses which you like to use, then you can always go over to the load button and then navigate over to them. I have a few on my desktop, and I can basically just go over to the folder and click on the impulse response that I want to use. So I can say, okay, I'm going to use this one, this green R121545 combination, and then click open, and then it's going to load it into the channel here. And they're the impulse responses which I use to get my tones on this track, and those impulse responses sounded great. I didn't need to reach for my signature impulse responses or anything else. These were just phenomenal. So I got the sound really easily, and then it was basically like, okay, this is sounding really big and heavy. Drop C sharp tuning. I'm tuned half step down on my Wolfgang here, and I tuned my Vola guitar down half step as well, and also drop the E string. And it was just phenomenal. You know, I played that first chord. You know, I could feel the amp in the room. Absolutely fantastic what these guys are doing. Now, this is one of the things that has always kept me away from amp software. It's the feel. Now, look, I have a collection of amps right down here, and I love playing them. Is this going to replace them? No. Is it going to complement them? Definitely. It's a really, really cool plugin. Check it out. If you like those really awesome metal tones, the ultimate metal tones, go and check this out. You know, the list of players who've used the Engl Powerball is just pretty phenomenal, actually. Alexis Laiho from Children of Bodom, James Hetfield from Metallica used it in the St. Anger days, Steve Morse from Deep Purple, he's a big user of the Engl Powerball II, Matt Heafy from Trivium as well. This amp can do pretty much everything, every type of tone you want, and it does it really, really well. Now, the plugin has been released today, which is the 6th of March 2023, just in case you're watching this in the far out future. But still do please go and check it out, because it is awesome, and it is going to be on offer at $29 until the end of March, so go and grab it if you want it now, and then it's going to go up to $137 after that, but still worth every single cent of that money. I loved it. I'm going to give you some more of the track. Go over to Nembrini Audio's website and check out all the cool plugins. I'm loving playing these amps. I'm going to have a lot of fun this year playing these amps. All right, guys and girls, have a great day. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification, because there are going to be more videos like this coming really, really soon. And you guys have yourself a lovely day. Here's the track for you. Yeah, let's get heavy. Yeah.
Thank you.